Hey, y'all, and welcome back to the Winning Wednesday podcast. I am your host, Geneva Brown, and today's word is called thoughts and words. What if I told you that your life is moving in the direction of your thoughts? Every word you speak and every action you take begins as a simple thought in your mind. What you think shapes what you say, and what you say shapes what you experience. Your thoughts are like the steering wheel of your life. Wherever your mind goes, your life will follow. There's something that I often tell my children all the time, especially my son who plays football. I always tell them, whatever you think, your actions will follow. That can apply to them not only when they're playing a sport, but even when they're preparing for a test. Whatever they think about themselves, whatever they think about others around them, their actions will follow. If they thought that they were not going to pass a test, then that's how they would perform, as if they were not going to pass a test. If he thought that he was not going to be successful on the football field, then I cautioned him. That is how you're going to act. You are not going to give it 100%. If his thoughts are confident, then he plays with confidence. It's the same thing I always tell them about their test. If you're confident that you're going to pass your test, then you will have confidence when you take that test. But in the same token, if he doubts himself, then hesitation will show up on the field and when he takes a test. And the same is true for us. Whether at work or home or in relationships, our thoughts influence how we react and respond to others. That's why the Bible tells us that life and death are in the power of the tongue. And that's in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21. But before a word leaves your mouth, my mouth, it starts as a thought. That's why God also instructs us to be slow to speak and slow to anger. That's James 1 and 19. When our minds are filled with frustration, fear, or negativity, our words often wound instead of heal. When our minds are filled with truth, love, and grace, our words bring peace and encouragement to our life and our situations. Philippians 4 and 8 tells us exactly what to think about. Things that are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and praiseworthy. When we focus on these things, our response begins to reflect God's heart. So instead of reacting in anger, we extend grace. And instead of acting in judgment, we offer understanding. And instead of chaos, we bring calm. So today, I challenge you to pay attention to what's happening in your minds. When situations don't go as planned or when your emotions begin to run high, stop and ask yourself, are my thoughts aligned with God's word? Am I allowing him to renew my mind, as it says in Romans chapter 12, verse 2? We must remember that what we think determines what we say, and what you say determines the direction of your life. So let's let our thoughts be anchored in God's truth, and your words will bring life, not only to your life, but to others' life. It will bring healing, not only to your life, but someone else's life. It will bring peace, not only to your life, but someone else's life. And that peace will extend wherever you go. That is the Winning Wednesday word. If today's word has encouraged you or touched you in any way, would you consider sharing the Winning Wednesday podcast with someone? Thank y'all for joining me, and I'll see y'all in the next one.